Grownups, if you're looking for a fun way to sneak learning into your kids' summer, check out the podcast Mysteries About True Histories. In every episode, Max and Molly travel through time and space to keep the troublesome trolls from causing chaos. From ancient Greece to the International Space Station, Max and Molly have a blast while solving riddles and even some fun, yes, fun, math problems. Want to join in on the adventures? Follow and listen to Mysteries About True Histories on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Trailblazers! I'm Emily. I'm Sophia. And this is Girl Tales, a kids' podcast of feminist stories for a new generation. Before we get started, we have to do some special shout-outs
To Ella, and wish a happy birthday to Bryn from Collingwood, Ontario, Zara, Eulalia Ortega, Dara in Norwich, United Kingdom, and Charlotte. Charlotte, Dara, Eulalia, Zara, Bryn, and Ella, thank you all so much for listening to Girl Tales.
Girl Tales is brought to you by families like yours. Head to patreon.com/girltales and donate today. Now on to our episode. This is Dorothy by Ashley Glicken. Enjoy!
Once upon a time, something like 4-ish years ago, there lived a girl named Dorothy Gale in a land called Kansas. Dorothy was a musician of the pop-punk variety, a rock genre that flourished in the early 2000s, or so the legend goes. She wore dark eyeliner, fishnet stockings, and fingerless gloves, which were cool regardless, but they also kept her hands clean when she wheeled herself from place to place. You see, Dorothy used a wheelchair, which she lovingly named Toto, after her 2 big toes. There was nothing average about Dorothy, and everything exceptional. Kansas, on the other hand, could sometimes be dull.
I need something cool to happen, pronto.
And something cool did happen. One morning, an alert rang out from her phone.
What's this? No way. No way! Auntie Em is performing in Kansas tonight. Auntie Em is my favorite band of all time next to Green Day.
So Dorothy claimed her ticket on cheaptixextravaganza.com.
Now I'm in the mood to jam.
So Dorothy picked up her trusty guitar and got ready to wail.
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3.
A loud roar filled Dorothy's home. Her front door blew open and the lights went out. When she looked outside, the sky was green and a far-off siren boomed an alarm.
Holy smoked salmon, a tornado!
Dorothy was no stranger to tornadoes. They're as common in Kansas as pepperoni on pizza. But this time, something felt different.
Is this house tipping?
No, dear Dorothy. The house is flying!
Flying? That's impossible!
But it was possible. The tornado had torn her house off the ground, along with her lawn flamingos and mail.
Well, I'm done for. It's been a fun ride while it lasted.
Dorothy sighed, resigned to her fate. But then, the ground shook, and she was thrown in the air. She heard another loud crash before the room went silent.
Sweet! I'm alive!
Dorothy thought as she looked around her home, assessing the damage.
What a mess. I better go to the store and get the best antibacterial spray money can buy.
She wheeled over and gingerly opened the front door.
Toto, I'm like 95% positive we're not in Kansas anymore.
Dorothy exited her house and entered a whole new world. She looked up at the bright blue sky and heard the rushing water of crystal blue rivers. She took in the smell of blue trees, blue grass, blue goats, and blue fire hydrants. All around her, the blue streets bustled with people wearing blue blouses, blue coats, blue dresses, and blue jorts.
I guess they like blue.
Then she heard the sound of music nearby. Dorothy wandered towards a big blue gazebo in the center of a bustling marketplace, which was also blue. There, she found a man playing an instrument she'd never seen before. It looked like a tuba, with blue bubbles coming out of the horn. When the mysterious musician finished his song, he greeted Dorothy with a warm smile.
Not from around here, huh?
What gave me away?
You wear a lot of pleather. So what brings you to Oz?
Oz? Is that where I am? Is that in Nebraska?
Oz was not in Nebraska. It was nowhere near anywhere she'd ever been before.
Listen, I wish I could stay and talk shop with you. You have a real mean sound. But I have tickets to see Auntie M tonight. I have to get back home.
I wish I could help, but I have a gig in Winky County in 20 minutes. But I bet the Wizard of Oz would know what to do. The wizard possesses limitless, terrible, and fantastic knowledge, like a prime minister or an alderman. You should go to Emerald City and ask him for help.
Okay, thank you so much. But, how exactly do I get there?
The tuba player gestured over to the center of town, where a brick path the color of sunshine led off into the distance.
Just follow the yellow brick road. It's the quickest way to the Emerald City.
Just follow the yellow brick road?
Yep. Follow the yellow brick road. It doesn't get much simpler than that. Anywho, I gotta run. Good luck.
With that, the tuba player raced away and left Dorothy alone once again.
Well, I'm not entirely sure where I am or where I'm going, but if I don't go somewhere soon, I may never see Auntie M.
With that, Dorothy began her journey. She rolled along for a while, enjoying the pleasant click-clack-clacking of her wheels against the yellow brick. But slowly, the click-clacking turned into thump-clumping. The once polished and pristine yellow bricks were beginning to get more worn and spaced out. It was getting very difficult to wheel Toto.
They should call it the yellow cobblestone road. Why wouldn't they replace this awful path?
It's historic. From a field nearby, a voice rang out. Dorothy carefully wheeled into a clearing near crops of blue corn. There, she found a scarecrow leaning on a fence with a slightly bored look on her face.
Hi, my name is Dorothy, and I'm so sorry to bother you, but there's a very important rock show I must rock out to tonight. I'm trying to get to the Emerald City, but this road's all busted.
Sorry about that. The locals think this rustic road has a certain quaint charm.
Perhaps, but it's impossible to wheel over these big, charming stones.
I never thought about it like that. But I don't really think much in general. I don't have a brain.
What do you mean? You seem plenty smart to me. Certainly smarter than any scarecrow I've ever met.
Your words are thoughtful and kind, but they're also ridiculous.
Well, my brain just got an idea. I'm on my way to the Emerald City to ask the Wizard of Oz for a ride back to Kansas. It seems like he's pretty connected. Maybe he can give you a brain. Only problem is, this road is too crumbly and charming to wheel on.
Why don't we take the train? There's a yellow line near here that goes straight to the Emerald City. So Dorothy and her new friend Scarecrow made their way towards the station and boarded the yellow line. There they began their friendship in earnest, sharing their hopes, dreams, and favorite soap operas. Outside the window, purple valleys raced by. That's Glicken country. They have the best pizza in all of Oz. Just then, a voice came over the loudspeaker.
Attention Yellow Line passengers. Due to a sleeping toad on the tracks, we have to divert this train to Quadlink country. From there, you can transfer to a northbound train to get to the Emerald City.
Sorry, Dorothy. I forgot that toads are constantly sleeping on this track. When the yellow line stopped, Dorothy and Scarecrow stepped out into the red and rickety halls of Quadling Station. The northbound trains are on another floor, but don't worry. I'm sure there's an elevator we can use. And there was. Unfortunately,
Out of order.
read the sign hastily taped to the red elevator door. This is outrageous. I can't believe it.
I can. This kind of thing happens in Kansas all the time.
Just then, a tall and very shiny man approached them.
It seems you discovered our sad elevator here. It's been out of service for quite some time. Sorry to report.
Do you work here?
Technically, yes, but today is actually my last day. I quit. I'm going to pursue my one big dream in life. To find myself a heart.
A heart? Like A heart?
Indeed. The one that is used for caring and loving?
That's wild. My one big dream is to have a brain.
Scarecrow and the Tin Man gave each other a high five. The hay in the Scarecrow's hand exploded on impact, but new hay immediately grew back in its place.
Not to invalidate your truth, Mr.
Just call me the Tin Man.
Well, Tin Man, you seem very caring to me.
Oh, that's very nice of you to say. But you are ridiculous.
Listen, Scarecrow and I are trying to get to the Emerald City to ask the Wizard of Oz for a brain and a ride back to Kansas. If you come with us, maybe he can get you a heart too.
That would be positively marvelous. Thank you, Dorothy. You have a top-of-the-line heart. Now, let's get out of this dingy station. We can take a Yellowhound bus to the Emerald City.
And so, the three friends made of all different kinds of material exited the station and headed to a Yellowhound bus. The driver lowered a nifty ramp, and Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Dorothy got on board. The bus was rumbling along the winding red streets of Quadling Country when suddenly... the bus slid and swerved before slowing to a stop.
Are we alive?
Scarecrow reached under the seat to retrieve her head, which had fallen off during the kerfuffle. She popped it back on and screwed it down tight.
I think so.
They exited the bus and were greeted with a sorry sight. The Yellowhound bus's tire was flat as a quadling rat, which is a species of rat that is very flat.
Oh no, not again.
A gaggle of toads were passed out on the street.
I guess the bus driver swerved to miss the toads.
Oh, I'm glad they're safe.
Me too. Toads rule.
So, what now?
We can try and hail a yellow cab.
You have yellow cabs here?
What else would we have? Violet cabs?
The three tired but determined friends made their way to the side of the road.
Oh, looks like there are a lot of open yellow cabs. This'll be easy and take no time at all.
So the three of them waited and waited and waited as cab after cab passed them by.
What's the matter? Haven't they ever seen a girl and a scarecrow and a metal guy before?
Their cabs probably aren't made to store wheelchairs. This might take us a while.
As if on cue, an enormous yellow cab stopped in front of them. A large shadow of a creature exited the front seat. The creature's sharp fangs sparkled as he fluffed out his golden mane.
Lion, please don't eat us.
Have mercy on our wretched souls. Also, we taste terrible.
The lion walked towards them slowly with a deep, menacing purr in his throat.
You folks seem like you could use a lift. Where you headed?
The Emerald City. We're going to ask the Wizard of Oz for a brain, a heart, and a ride back to Kansas so I can see the Auntie Em show tonight.
The wizard can do all that?
Apparently he has a lot of connections.
Do you think maybe the wizard could give me something too?
Maybe. What do you need? An oil change? Air freshener for your car?
No, I need courage. You see, I'm not a normal lion. I'm a cowardly lion.
You seem plenty courageous to me. Driving a cab must be treacherous with all these toads passed out in the streets. Let's all go to the Emerald City together. Then we can ask the wizard for all the junk we need.
Scarecrow and the Tin Man helped Dorothy get into the back seat of the cab, while the Cowardly Lion put her wheelchair Toto in the back. Once they were all buckled in, the yellow cab sped off. As they drove along the streets, the red houses of Quadling Country turned into green skyscrapers.
Oh boy, I'm afraid of skyscrapers.
Why?
They look like they're holding the sky hostage.
Eventually, they slowed to a stop at the looming gates of the wizard's headquarters. The four friends exited the yellow cab and approached the enormous green doors. Dorothy took a deep breath and pressed a button on the intercom.
Yes?
We're, here to see the wizard.
One moment, please.
A few moments later, a green window opened and a green-hatted head popped out. The head's owner wore a name tag that read Franz.
Name?
Oh, hello there, Franz. I'm Dorothy. My friends and I are here to see the wizard. It's very urgent. We need to
One moment, please.
Franz rummaged through piles of files on his desk before handing Dorothy a large stack of papers.
Fill out these forms in quadruplicate.
Listen, my good man. We're in a bit of a hurry.
I'm sure you are, but my hands are tied. No forms, no wizard.
We just have to answer a couple of questions, right? How long could it take?
And so the paperwork began.
Hey, Dorothy, what's your home state?
Kansas.
Dorothy, what's your mother's maiden name?
Meadows.
Hey, Dorothy, what's the name of your second cousin's wife's pet shark?
Phil.
Eventually, with grit, determination, and an endless wellspring of patience, they filled out all the forms and returned them to Franz.
One moment, please.
They heard a jarring clang and Franz emerged from a small side door. He ushered our four heroes into an enormous waiting room filled with thousands of people.
If you're lucky, you might get an appointment by Friday.
But it's Saturday.
What are we going to do, Dorothy?
Don't worry. I have a plan.
Dorothy turned to Franz.
Sorry to bother you, but I really need to use the bathroom.
Like now?
Dorothy batted her eye-lined eyes.
Oh, fine. But only you can go. Your friends have to wait. This isn't a bathroom store.
Dorothy waved an excited farewell to her friends. They gave her an eager thumbs up, and Scarecrow mouthed the words, "Good luck," as Franz led Dorothy through the security doors. He brought her down a long hallway to an accessible bathroom.
You don't have to wait for me, Franz. I know the way back.
Uh-huh.
Franz turned around and headed back.
Now's my chance.
Dorothy raced down another long hallway with green fluorescent lights. There were hundreds of offices with hundreds of cubicles shoved inside. Office workers wearing crisp green business casual attire clunked away at their green computers. Dorothy wheeled for what seemed like an eternity before reaching a large set of doors.
I think this is it.
It's open.
Dorothy entered the large corner office.
Franz, I told you to clear my schedule today.
A large leather chair spun around, and there he was, the Wizard of Oz. Dorothy thought he looked like a regular kind of guy.
Excuse me. I know you're very busy, but my friends and I need your help. You see, I'm not from around here. I'm from Kansas. But a big tornado ripped my house off its foundation this morning and brought me to Oz.
Yes, that makes sense.
There's a once-in-a-lifetime pop-punk rock show happening tonight, and I absolutely have to be there. I would have gotten here sooner, but I ran into a couple of detours.
Wait, don't tell me, let me guess. Sleeping toads?
Yes, among other things. I only got this far because I made some really rad friends. Without them, I'd still be stranded on the yellow brick road.
Ah, yes, that awful road. The Oz HOA is very attached to it.
Anywho, my friends are the best, and they also need help. Scarecrow needs a brain, the Tin Man needs a heart, and the Cowardly Lion needs courage. I know that's a lot to ask for, but you're my only hope. I met a tuba player who says you have a lot of connections.
The wizard blushed.
I have been known to make things happen from time to time.
Please, can you help us?
The wizard sat in silence and stroked his clean-shaven, regular chin.
You know what? I like you. You said nice things to me, and now I like you.
The wizard pressed a button on his desk and an intercom burped to life.
Franz, can you send Dorothy Gale's friends to my office immediately?
Right away, sir.
A short time later, after the wizard had kindly poured Dorothy a nice cool glass of tomato juice, Franz, Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion entered.
I hear you're all in need of some organ transplants. Is that right? Maybe?
Is courage an organ?
Sadly, I'm not a doctor. Well, technically I have a PhD in hotel management, but I'm not a surgeon. Still, I think I can help you all.
With that, the wizard approached Scarecrow and began to rummage through her straw head.
Let's see here. Oh, very interesting.
Then, he pressed his ear against the Tin Man's chest and knocked.
Very interesting.
Finally, he approached the Cowardly Lion.
open your mouth and say blah.
Blah.
I think I know exactly what you all need.
The wizard walked back to his desk and rummaged through the drawers.
No, not here, not that, no. Here they are.
The wizard triumphantly pulled out 3 envelopes.
It is true, you 3 seem to lack certain vital human organs. But in my experience, they have very little to do with the traits you so desire. Which is why I'm giving each of you the most valuable thing of all. An official letter of recommendation from me. If anyone questions the legitimacy of your organs, or the qualities associated with them, i.e., intelligence, love, and courage, present these letters. Trust me, they're far more powerful than they probably should be.
Dorothy's 3 companions had tears in their eyes.
They're beautiful.
Glorious, even.
Thank you, wizard.
Yeah, sure. It's no problem. Now, Dorothy, unfortunately, I don't think a letter of recommendation is going to fly you back to Kansas.
But I have to get home. Auntie Em waits for no one.
Do not fear. I have just the thing.
The wizard walked over to a large storage closet. He began rummaging around, tossing items about as he searched. A beach ball, a broken tennis racket, a rotisserie chicken.
Oh, there's that rotisserie chicken I've been looking for.
Before finally shouting,
Ah! Here it is!
Then the wizard emerged from the closet. He was holding a glimmering ruby red guitar.
No way. Is that a...
2002 Spectra Fender Stratocaster in ruby red with humbucker pickups and a whammy bar? Oh, yes, it is.
It's deeply awesome. But how will a guitar help me get home?
Just think about Auntie M. Think about the music. Think about a place where you feel like you're home. And while you're thinking of all those things, strum a G chord.
Why a G chord?
I honestly don't know. But someone tried it with a B flat once, and we're still cleaning that mess up.
Dorothy and her pals thanked the wizard and exited his castle, which looks a lot more like an office plaza now that you mention it.
Well, this is it.
Dorothy's new friends stared glumly at the ground.
But we don't want you to leave, Dorothy.
We'll miss you too much.
Much too much.
Dorothy looked at the faces of her new pals. Their journey had been long, unnecessarily complicated, and oftentimes frustrating. But still...
You know, life can be really annoying sometimes. Disappointing, too. Some days it feels like there's nothing but detours and no destinations, but I know I can weather any detour, any twister, and any sleeping toad epidemic as long as I have friends like you.
The 4 companions embraced. They were all pretty misty-eyed, except for the Cowardly Lion, who was bawling. Then Dorothy picked up her ruby red guitar.
Well, here goes nothing. Goodbye. I'll miss you dearly.
Dorothy lifted her guitar pick high into the sky and prepared to strum a G.
Let's rock.
Dorothy's arm arced through the sky and prepared to strum when...
Wait!
Suddenly, Franz appeared and raced over to Dorothy, clutching a slip of paper.
Wizard wants you to have this.
Franz handed Dorothy the sweaty note.
It says, almost forgot. If you ever feel like visiting Oz again, simply pick up your guitar, think of us, and strum a C sharp. Just whatever you do, do not strum a C flat.
With that, Dorothy embraced her friends once more, and they made tentative plans for brunch the following weekend. Then, she wheeled past the green parking lots and the empty green newspaper stands towards a green picnic bench overlooking the land of Oz.
Auntie Em, here I come.
The end.
That was Dorothy by Ashley Glicken.
Performed by Jonathan Cormur, Tessa Flannery, Nicholas Germain, Ashley Glicken, and Jennifer Kumiyama. Produced by Tessa Flannery. Executive produced by Chad Chenail. Girl Tales is a Cordelia Studios production. Grownups, you can get access to ad-free episodes of Girl Tales, as well as a range of other shows for the kids in your life by subscribing to Starglow Plus on Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to hear me narrate the original stories of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, or Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm, head to patreon.com/girltales and join Team Sunnybrook or above. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts.
And if you like this story, share it with a friend.
Oh, and remember,
I believe in you.